Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. We're going to go over oil and gas, do some technical analysis here. Oil is still tracking higher. It's looking good. It's continuing to move upward. And what I do is I don't do anything. Some of the stocks, they do look a little bit weaker. We could see a little bit of a pullback even. That could be in the cards in the very short term. And I'll show you the patterns and the candlesticks that I'm seeing to support that view. But here we go. I'll give you my financial opinion. It's just my financial opinion. Please do not use this as advice. So here we go. We've got this breakout here, and we've been moving on up in oil, and it's continuing to move up. And what I propose is that this right-hand side is actually a break of a large inverted head and shoulders pattern that I shared yesterday. But oil is looking fantastic. Natural gas is doing a little bit of a pullback here. You can see that there's large selling pressure through here, not as much buying pressure. So I think we're going to head a little bit lower and do a consolidation period, a small one over time for natural gas. We are seeing that manifest itself also in SM Energy. We could have a little bit of a pullback, but with oil going up, difficult to say. But what I think will happen is we're coming back, and I think we're going to head to this area a little bit lower, and then we're going to move on up. So I do think we have a little bit of a pullback in us, and then a move higher. And we're seeing that also in Centennial Development. We could see a little bit more of a pullback here. This is a bearish engulfing pattern. The buyers are getting tired. Right here, it sold off. The buyers couldn't push it higher. It sold off again. It couldn't push it higher. It sold off. I think we're going to head a little bit lower down here. So I think we're going to see a pullback in Centennial Development, probably SM Energy as well. Callon Petroleum looks like it wants to pull back. The buyers just they can't muster it past this $60 level, and we might come back a little bit more. Now, recaf trades on its own accordance. It is not linked really to oil. It's an exploration company. And what we have here is a pattern that's developed. We put in this pattern here, and we've got a bullish engulfing pattern. That's what this pattern is right here. That pattern there is a bullish. The candlestick is a bullish engulfing of the ones before it. Usually when you get this pattern here, it wants to break to the upside. I think this looks absolutely fantastic to move higher at any point right here. Any point. And it's a decent sized pattern. I think we could easily move. It depends on what the news. I think news is probably going to get released. Someone bought it up today. There's probably insiders that know something, or institutional investors, or someone. News gets leaked. I think we're going to see it move higher at any second here for recaf. Tellurian, we're still getting in some selling pressure in here. That's what the black candlestick is. I think we still got a little bit more time to bounce around sideways a little bit. Tetra Technologies does have a bearish engulfing pattern. This could head a little bit lower before moving higher in the short term. And here's Transocean. I'll throw some patterns in here. It does look like it's contracting up a little bit. Kind of throw that in there. You put this one in here. We could break lower or upper out of this pattern. We did enter this pattern from the upside, from the top side down. We're fighting back up. This could break to the downside and head back a little bit. We could have a little bit of a pullback. XLE, we can see that it's trying to come up and it's losing steam. And I think we're probably going to roll over a little bit and maybe come back to this area in the 55, 54 range to kind of do like a back test and then move on higher. OIH, you can kind of tell that this is contracting upward. If you draw it kind of like this. See how that's contracting? And I would be looking for maybe a possible break to the downside with a steep move like this. And it's probably not going to be a very large pullback. It may just pull back a little bit, rest a little bit, and then move on up again. Nova Royalty, this is a copper company. I threw some mining companies in here as well, guys. But this one looks really good. I'm just going to kind of throw this in here. That's what we broke. So we broke out. We may back test here or retest, however you want to say it, and then move on higher. Now, remember, I talked in a couple different clips about buying pressure. We had this big buying pressure day here. We got big buying pressure here, here, here. It kind of contracted down. The opening and closing prices contracted down here. We came in bullish engulfing. I'm like, this is it. I bought a bunch in this area here, and we're moving on higher. We may do a little bit of a retest and then move on higher. But this looks really good. Southern Copper's looking really good. Copper's looking fantastic. There's your break right there. Once it broke, it popped higher. So that looks great. NGX Materials looks great. It's playing with its 52-week high. There's some sellers all up in here. You can see it here and here. It really likes this 82, 85 cent level and higher. It wants to sell off a little bit. Tech Resources, I can see a pattern here. You know, we can get it like right here. And then this guy is like that. I'm going to call this a fluke down here, but it looks like it's contracting and then breaking to the upside for Tech Resources. Vale, we got a nice big bullish engulfing here, pulled up, small sell-off. I think down here looks pretty good if you guys like VALE. We do have a steep downtrend line that's been broken. Norilsk Nickel, looking at this, we can draw the pattern right here. And I'd almost say it's like there. It's real close in here. It looks like it's trying to break to the upside at any point. This one I'm watching. I do own a lot in it. And then we got Rio Tinto. I'm looking at some of these diversified mining companies. It looks like we kind of bottomed. We're coming up higher. We'll see if we can continue this momentum down here. Looks like we have a downtrend line that's been broken too. Now we've got Glencore here. Glencore, sometimes I like these big picture views. That broke right there. It's moving on higher. This is a fantastic area. It may come back and do a retest and then launch higher. But this one, it's broken. It looks fantastic. And that's what I have for today. So oil looks like we could pull back a little bit. The chart patterns are throwing some bearish engulfings. We could do a little bit of a pullback before moving higher. Again, I'm not selling anything. Oil's been moving on up. Maybe it can reverse. If oil continues to move higher, maybe these companies do a short little quick reversal pattern and move on up. Difficult to say. Oil looks good. Natural gas looks a little weak. Copper looks fantastic. Glencore looks fantastic. SCCO broke out. That thing looks fantastic. A lot of the copper companies, they look mucho bueno. I don't speak Spanish, guys. I just said that. So a lot good. But everything looks good on a long-term perspective. I'm not selling anything. I'm just riding the stuff higher. That's what I'm doing. If you guys like this content, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.